these slides with you, and I'll show you how to be able to download them a little bit later, because I'm going to be going a little more rapidly here rather than going through each and every one. But let me just introduce you, if I may, to some of the people that we met on this journey. This is Michelle. She works at a manufacturing company in the state of Ohio in the United States, and she recently won the award for Innovator of the Year. Well, a colleague of mine went up to her after the award ceremony and he said, "You know, Michelle, I understand that you're the receptionist here. I can't help but ask you, how did you happen to come up with all these ideas?" "Oh," she said, "it was quite simple, really." She said, "Because I'm on the phone talking to our customers all day long," she said, "sometimes they're not too happy with something we did, or maybe it's something we failed to do. And she said, when that happens, I don't get defensive. I simply start writing. And I write down their story. And then I love to ask them my favorite question, which is, and what do you think we should do so that this never happens again?" And they tell me, and I write that down. And I submit that to our New Ideas program, and that's how I got the award. Now you see, Michelle could have easily said, "Hey, make innovation my business. You've got to be kidding." But instead she says, "Hey, I'm on the phone with our customers all day long. I'm in a unique position here to hear their ideas about how we can improve." That, my friends, is the opportunity mindset at the grassroots level. Now this is Brent Gao at Starbucks in Seattle, Washington. He's the payroll manager. And he recently did a project that culminated in lowering the cost of paying people. They have several 100,000 employees around the world. Lowering the cost of doing payroll by over 50% of what it was before. Right? He saw that the cost of employing people was going up and up and up. Nobody told him, "Hey, get the cost of payroll to come down." But with his team, he said, "How can we lower the cost of getting people paid every week, every month?" And he said, we started innovating. And I met Brent when I keynoted the American Payroll Association meeting in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he told me this wonderful story. Now, this is Marissa Meyer at Google. I don't know, how many of you use Google in the work that you do from time to time? Anybody use Google a little bit here and there? Okay. Well, you notice if you go on Google, it doesn't have a lot of advertising, a clutter as they call it, doesn't have a lot of junk. The reason it doesn't is because this particular individual has sort of taken it upon herself to manage what they call the user interface. Now, she was employee number 13, and she is an engineer, but even then she realized that what Google needed was not yet another engineer, but somebody who thought differently. And so her unique contribution since coming on board at Google back in the late 90s has been to see problems or to see opportunities in the problems that maybe other people are not seeing. To see where certain people need to be connected. To seize upon opportunities that other people may totally be ignoring or not even aware of. And so that reminds me of this very key question as we embrace innovation, embrace this opportunity mindset. As leaders, we need to ask each and every individual who reports to us, what is your unique contribution vis-a-vis innovation? And we need to continue to develop our innovation skills. It turns out that nobody is born with innovation skills. We develop them by doing projects, by working on special projects. So Michelle, the receptionist, was using her skills and developing her skills at the job level. Brent Gao was working at the department level. You all, as leaders of the government of Dubai, are working at the organizational level. Where we are using our skills at the present time is not what's important. What's important is that we begin to understand that we can get better at this process of innovation the more that we develop and utilize our skills of innovation. Now, let's change the mood here a little bit. For this exercise, I'd like you to turn to the person on your right, in the case here, and join up in groups of 2 or 3. And I'm going to give you 60 seconds, and I'd like you to write down as many McDonald's innovations. Anything. Little innovations, big innovations. We'll just pretty much go for anything. But I'm only going to give you 60 seconds, right? And the winning team, well, the winning team is going to receive a prize, but actually I don't have it here. I'm going to have to mail it to you. All right, so are you ready? Think you can come up with a couple of McDonald's innovations there? All right, are you feeling competitive? Begin. All right, 5 more seconds. All right. Okay, so did anybody in the room come up with more than 5 innovations? Okay, very good, very good. Did anybody come up with more than 10 innovations? No. Oh, you did? Okay. Did you used to work with McDonald's? That's great. Well, let's see. Would you mind just yelling out just one innovation that McDonald's has come up with, sir? Happy Meals. All right. Very good. Anybody else have a favorite innovation from McDonald's? Drive-through. Okay. Very good. Well, let's. We could spend a lot of time on this, but we won't. But you know, the way I look at innovation, and then when I work with clients and so forth, we look at it using this map. Companies need something to really simplify it, and so we came up with this. But you know, McDonald's product is food, right? So that's a product innovations, as was mentioned, Happy Meals, a Big Mac, all of that sort of thing. And process innovations are behind the scenes. Obviously, back office, we sometimes use that terminology. Now, there's this third category over there, strategy innovations. Well, these are the things that we do that touch our customer that are not the basic product, the basic deliverable, but they add value. So they're more like having to do with the how. So for McDonald's, I'm sure some of you probably put Ronald McDonald House or Mac Cafe. So business model kinds of innovations, changes, value-added services, all of those sort of things. We might call this the other category there. And then there are, of course, down the side there, breakthrough, substantial, incremental. And I always ask people, now, in your organization, are you innovating a lot of incremental improvements, but not so many breakthroughs? In just a little while in the program here, in just a moment, I want to take you through another map called the Tucker Innovation Model that will show you how to increase the throughput of these bigger ideas. And then, of course, substantial, they're sort of in the middle. Well, I have to say, having just landed in Dubai yesterday, for the very first time, I can't believe that I have not been here before, but it has been a tremendous feast, process of just taking in all this beauty, all of the architecture, a society that works, and this excellence program that was started, I understand, by Your Highness, what, 15 years ago or so, to raise this level is a major process innovation there. Now, how do we bring this home? Because day to day, there's so much to do, right, that we might stop thinking about innovation and just turn the crank, as is so often described, how we get so involved in the day-to-day work. So I came up with a technique, and I'd like to share it with you. It's called obligation or opportunity. It's very, very simple. But when you go back to your office, put this on a Post-it note or a sticky note, as it's sometimes called. Put these words, obligation or opportunity. And if you ever feel like you're not in that opportunity mindset and you want to be, just glance at that sticky note. Let's say a newly hired young employee comes and knocks on your door and wants to talk to you about an exciting idea that they've come up with. Or maybe you're not too excited about this, right? Maybe you can see all the flaws in that idea immediately. Read this note, right? Let's say you're going into a meeting. Maybe you're not particularly feeling very innovative. Read your little sticky note. Because if you're willing to shift into opportunity mode, ladies and gentlemen, anything could be about to happen. Now, let's get into the second of these 4 strategies this way. Have you had one of these moments lately? I call them, there's got to be a better way moments. You're seeing something in your daily life that could be improved. And you think, that's not very effective. That's not very efficient. There's got to, and your mind starts going, there's got to be a better way. You ever had one of those moments? Of course, we have them all the time, right? Every time I go through airport security, and these long lines and taking off your shoes and all of this sort of thing, I think, there's got to be a better way. What we're doing in that moment, I want you to pay attention to, because what you're doing in that moment is you are assaulting an assumption that the way we do things today is the best way, that the products we deliver today are the best or the optimal. And I submit to you that it is on that assumption assaulting moment where we allow ourselves to dream of a better way that the history of human progress and all the vast progress that you have made here in Dubai has really taken place. I mean, think about it. Christopher Columbus, right? He was an assumption assaulter. He discovered the New World, as they call it. He discovered North America. He was looking for India, but he actually discovered North America. So when he gets back to Spain, they have a banquet in his honor. And people are coming up, and the great Christopher Columbus is sitting there at the head table, and people are up visiting with the admiral and congratulating him. And there was this one fellow that had the temerity to say to Christopher Columbus, you know, Admiral, you're the guy that discovered the New World, but hey, couldn't anybody living today, any navigator living today, really have done what you did? And Columbus took an egg from the table in front of him, and I just happened to have brought an egg along. And Columbus basically just kind of grabbed the egg and he said, well, can you, and maybe we can have the camera in here. No, I guess we don't have iMac. Can you balance this egg on its end? And, you know, of course, that's not an easy thing to do, right? So Columbus takes the egg and he smashes it down until it's made to stand. And somebody said, well, anybody could have done it that way. And Columbus said, yes, if they'd only thought of it that way. He said, once I showed the way to the New World, anybody can find it. And isn't that true in your department, in your agency? Once you solve that very inefficient little problem there with a very elegant solution, people might say to you, well, that was easy, but at the time it was not easy because they didn't assault their assumptions, you did. Now, assumptions, if you really break it down, they come in sort of 3 varieties. There's personal assumptions like, hey, I'm not creative, so I really can't do what we're talking about here. Or there might be, like in some respects,